We today are going to be talking about speech. And I like to refer to speech as how we communicate. How do we talk and interact with one another? How do we sound and how do we present ourselves whenever we speak? Me, I'm not so good whenever it comes to communicating and speaking. I tend to get befuddled, I tend to get aggravated, and I tend to forget what I learned. But the way that I have learned, is if I communicate, I learn something. I remember it. Learn how you communicate. And I'm going to try to communicate to you how to communicate in a better way. And I was reading this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, and it's a really good book. It's probably my number one recommended book, I would say, for anyone who wants to have a successful life, who wants to be able to influence people, to make it to where people will want to listen to you, to have any communication at all effectively. Dale Carnegie's book is worth the read. He sold over 11 million copies of the book, so it has to have some value, I would think. And I'll start off with his first chapter, or his first little lesson in the book. He talked about three fundamental ideas to speech. Three fundamental ideas to how we communicate to people. The first thing you must do is understand the nature of humans. If we can understand how humans interact, if we can understand how humans emotionally think and how they emotionally act, if we can understand the reward systems and their pain systems, if we can understand what they don't like and what they go away from and what they go towards, we can start to not manipulate, but control a conversation. We can influence a conversation. Imagine this. You're in the room with Al Qaeda, the leader of Al Qaeda, and you're also in the room with the Israeli Prime Minister. I think his name is Benjamin Netanyahu. Imagine if you had both of those people in the same room. What if you had the power to talk to both of these people and make them come out of this room thinking and communicating with one another in a cordial, amiable fashion? That's a superpower, I believe. And Dale Carnegie is going to teach us how to do that. All we have to do is put our ear to the text, listen to what people who are far more superior and smarter than us, and listen to what they're saying. Number one, he says, do not criticize. If you want to get honey from a beehive, you don't go kick the beehive. It's fairly simple, right? If you want someone to like you, if you want to get communication, if you want to build on a relationship, the worst thing you could do is damage the relationship. And the number one way you're going to damage a relationship is by condemning someone. Telling them that they're wrong, criticizing someone, saying that they did something bad, or complaining. Saying that they shouldn't have done it like that. If you're in a relationship to where it's you and your mom, right? And you have both of you and you both want to get along, the worst thing you guys can do is be at each other's throat, criticizing one another. The best thing you can do, I can guarantee you, is not that. So that's what he says at the start. He says, learn that human behavior is not to listen to criticism. We as humans do not want to listen to what we do wrong. We want to listen to what we do right. We are wired to learn by incentives. And we do not like de-incentives, right? We don't like when someone's this annoying little pest that we just want to slap it away. We want to go to the person who is giving us compliments, praise, candy, rewards. We want to go to the people who incentivize us. And so in our conversations and in our communication, what we need to start doing is stop the criticism. Because no matter how well it will feel good, and it's so hard to not do, the best thing that we can do is not to criticize. If someone disagrees with you, don't think that they're stupid. Even if they are, don't think it. Don't say it. You have to come at it from some other point of view. You gotta come at it from, okay, how can I convince this person some other way? I can't call them stupid, because if I call them stupid, then they're going to be mad at me. What can I say? Come at it from that point of view. If you can come at it from that point of view, and not simply say, oh, you're a Trump supporter? You're a freaking racist. You know, he's a terrible president. Why would you ever support him? You know, when you come at it like that, when you come at it on the offensive, you are never going to make a stable relationship. You're never going to effectively communicate to that person. You're going to be talking past one another. What you must do is not criticize, but incentivize further speech, further communication. So now, the second point I kind of got out of him is he was saying, how can we make people want to listen to us? How can we make people want to communicate? Right? How can we make people want to be in the communication business with us? Well, he says, number one, the worst thing the thing that I know will not work is if you criticize someone. If you criticize someone, that's not going to effectively get to the end game goal of good communication. So we have to make the person want to be communicating with us, right? And he says that a way to make this communication funnel into a respectively good atmosphere is to be praising and to give admiration, genuine, sincere admiration to the person you're talking to. If you're talking to someone who you disagree with, and they say that they hate Donald Trump, and they think that he's a terrible president, already you're probably on a good start, because they're talking about what they like, and you need to start talking to them about what they like. But be hasten not to criticize them, and be looking for good logical processes that they go through. Look for, if they say Donald Trump has said bad things, and because Donald Trump has said bad things, and he now is the leader of our country, I do not like that. You, as an influencer, as an effective communicator, you are going to have to praise them for that. Because genuinely, that deserves praise. Someone who condemns someone for saying bad things, that's good. So whenever you're talking to the people, you need to be like, that's admirable. I like that about you. You see things that are bad and you call them out. And I agree. Donald Trump is probably not the best candidate. I think we both can agree on that, right? And because we can agree on that, I think we can come somewhere from this. I think you're a very smart person for kind of coming to this conclusion of saying, we shouldn't be saying bad things to one another. Correct? And whenever you compliment, see how I was going there, when I complimented them, it's a lot better than saying, well, let's be honest, right? I mean, it's not that big of a deal that he says bad things. That's just stupid. If I went at it like that, then I'm criticizing her ideas. And because I'm criticizing her ideas, she is not, or whoever it is not going to want to be accepting of my ideas, because Now she's on the defensive. And because she's on the defensive, she's not going to want to listen to me. She's going to want to think about how to attack me. And because she's thinking about how to attack me, that's all she's going to be thinking about now. So don't fall into that trap. Don't fall into it. Fall into the trap of, make it a problem of not criticizing. Make it a problem of you're over incentivizing, over praising. So the number one rule you have to follow is not to criticize, and to be thinking of ways to incentivize the person who want to talk to you by getting them to talk about what they love, by praising them every time you can. And the second thing is to incentivize them is to praise the person genuinely and make them feel important. Again, you have to find what this person loves to do, what this person likes, what they are good at, and give them admiration for it. They'll like you for it. I promise you. You are going to be a rare specimen in this ecosystem of communicators if you can praise people and encourage them on the right things. Be that encouraging, praising person in that person's life. Be that person who tells them to go out and achieve their dreams. They'll love you. Last thing. To be an effective communicator, you need to say simple, focused, and stoic things. When you're communicating, don't go on long rants. I know this is kind of hypocritical because I'm making, a 20, 15 minute long video that is a rant about the book. So don't take this as hypocritical, just take it as me just talking for now. But you need to be simple. Have clear, concise points. Think of something, say it, don't say anything else. If you become trite in your sayings, if you oversay things, you are going to devalue what you say. If you say George Bush is bad 1,000 times in the same mundane, stupid fashion, people are going to stop caring. But if you say it once or twice in a bold, stoic, simple, but blunt fashion, people will remember it. So be focused on what we're saying, okay? Be hyper aware of how you're communicating. Don't speak until you think. If someone says, we need to give more jobs to homeless people, we need to be providing free jobs to everyone who's unemployed so they can get employment, so they can, join the middle class. Think to yourself, okay, I'm not going to say, well, that's wrong. I'm going to say, I agree. Homeless people need jobs, right? We need to make it to where some way we can get a society to where there's not people like this struggling. And then you need to incentivize what they say and say, thank you for talking about this. Not many people are saying and spouting about these ideas. Now, I'm going to kind of have a little difference in opinion, so take it with a little grain of salt, please. I don't necessarily think giving out free jobs would be the best thing to do. Because what can happen when you give out free jobs is that it's not free. You're taxing the taxpayer. And we can have that debate is if the taxpayer is responsible, correct? And we need to go down this fashion. So what would you say about that, right? Be very brief in what you say. Briefacy, that's what it is. Briefacy, or being brief about whatever you're speaking of, is very good. Lots of public speakers have mastered this topic. What they do is they have simple lines of dialogue with long pauses. So they'll say, America, and they'll leave silence. When they leave silence, it creates that atmosphere of suspense of what is the person going to say next. And I'm going to try to wrap this video up now. I think the main gist of it has been covered and been explained. So number one, don't criticize. If you're trying to get honey, don't kick the beehive. If you're trying to make people like you, don't make them mad. Number two, praise people for the good that they do offer. Make the person feel important by talking about what they do best, what they are good at. 3, be simple and focused. And speak your mind. Do not hasten. And have courage when communicating. It's going to be difficult at times to resist the powers of temper.